Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai, Shri Gaurita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So today we will discuss about the topic on whether the Lord does really eat. And if he eats, what does he eat? How does he eat? There are some common questions which come to our mind. And another common question is whether the Lord is really hungry. Let me begin with an interesting episode about the Lord's eating, because people always ask whether the Lord eats. There was one great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by name Raghunandana Thakur. He was a very small boy. He was the son of one more great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by name Mukunda Dasa. They are residents of Sri Kanda, which is in West Bengal. And at one time, Raghunandan Thakur's father had to go out for some important work, and they had a family deity, Gopinath, Lord Gopinath, whom they have been worshipping since more than 150 years. This I am talking the Lord during Lord Chaitanya's time, 14th, 15th century. So 150 years before that. So the deity at the home had been worshipped by their ancestors for many decades. So he told his small child, somehow due to some urgent work, I had to leave the house. So kindly see that the Lord's puja and Naivedya offering goes on uninterruptedly. The son, small boy, Raghunandan Thakur, he said, yes, I will take care. Father, don't worry, you go and come. So the mother and father had to leave, and they went out. So the son had seen the father worshipping the Lord, offering bhog to the Lord. So Raghunandan, he made all arrangements for the Lord's offering. It was afternoon time, and we generally offered Raj Bhog to the Lord in the afternoon hours, which is a very elaborate meal of the entire day. So the son had made all the arrangements for the Raj Bhog. The father had cooked all the prasadam, all the bhoga, and then he had left and said to the son, take care from now on. So he had made the plate and then placed that offering in front of Gopinath. And then he requested the Lord to accept the food. His father had told his son, please take care, when you offer the food, the Lord will eat it. And then the Mahaprasadam you can eat. Because he's a small child, he told his son that when you offer the Naivedya to the Lord accepts it. Lord Gopinath, in the form of the deity, accepts it. Accepts the offering. Son also said, yes, Papa. So now he offers that bhog to the Lord, and the plate is lying like that only, with all the bhoga. Bhoga means unoffered food. Prasad means offered food. When the Lord has accepted, it becomes prasad. So Few minutes passed, 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed, 15 minutes passed, 20 minutes passed. The plate is still like that. And then this child didn't know what to do. He started crying and pleading to Gopinatha, my Lord, please accept, please accept. My father has told that you will take the food. And if you don't take the food, then if my father asks me, then what shall I say? My Lord, please accept my humble offering. I may not be very perfect in my offering, but kindly accept it. It's my humble request. Started crying with all sincerity and devotion. He begged the Lord to come and have his meal. Actually, Gopinath, being very pleased with the innocent sincereness of the child and his devotional offering, actually accepted the bhoga. The Lord actually started eating the prasadam, the bhoga from the plate, and he emptied the whole plate. And then Raghunandan Thakur was very happy. He removed the plate. Then, after some time, Mukunda Dasa comes back to home. He says, my dear son, so did you offer the Lord his noontime meal and offer the worship? Yes, yes, father, I offered everything. Then the father asked, where is the Mahaprasada? I want little Mahaprasada. Then Raghunandan Thakur said, but actually, the Lord ate the entire meal. There was nothing left for me also. Actually, I have not eaten from afternoon. Then Raghunandan said, really? How can this be possible? He was surprised. But he knew his son always speaks the truth. And he could also sense that he had no intention of telling lie. But at the same time, the dilemma is, how is the Lord eating the food in the deity form? Because generally when you offer the deity bhoga, the full plate returns back. Still the Lord is accepted. Then how is it that here the plate is empty? What is my son meaning? So anyway, he was very curious to know, because he knew his son will not tell lie. Then under the circumstance, what would have happened to that prasad? How did it disappear? So Raghunandan Thakur said, so Mukunda Dasa said, okay, today once again, you offer the bhoga to the Lord. So the son said, okay, I will offer the food to the Lord. And Mukunda Dasa wanted to observe what's actually happening. So when he offered for the second time, this time he offered one laddu, big size laddu for the Lord. This time also, this child requested the Lord, my Lord, kindly accept this bhoga, our humble offering. Please accept. And then the Lord was really moved by sincere devotion. Once again, the Lord picked up the laddu with his hand. Gopinath picked up the laddu and started eating the laddu. Half of it. And the Lord could sense that somebody is watching him or observing him. It was actually Raghunandan's father. He was hiding from nearby place and observing what's going on in the altar of the Lord. The Lord could detect that. And then the Lord immediately stopped eating. So Mukunda Dasa was really moved by the son's devotion and bhakti. And he started crying. tears of joy from his eyes. The Lord actually was eating the offering done by his son. He was greatly moved by the son's devotion. Just sometime later, in Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu jokingly asked Mukunda, "So, Mukunda, who is the father, who is the son?" Mukunda Das says to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "My Lord, you know everything. Actually, my son is the father and I am his son because he has taught me, given me pure devotion, taught me pure bhakti. I am obliged to my son, for he is a pure devotee of the Lord." Actually, Mukunda Das also is a pure devotee. He is part of the Leela, sharing the glories of the devotees. So like this he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this Raghunandan Thakur, who is this great child? He is said to be Pradyumna, or supposed to be Kandarpa Manjari in Krishna Leela. So these are not ordinary persons. Actually, this Pradyumna is one of the Chaturbhyuha avatars of Vishnu. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. They're the Chaturbhyuha. Prabhupada calls them as the HD camp of Krishna. So they're all assisting Lord Krishna in his pastimes. So this pastime reveals how the Lord actually accepts Mahaprasadam if it is offered with complete love and devotion. Otherwise not. Okay. Having said that, we will also discuss more interesting things as we go forward. One more story as we go forward, little after some time. Let me answer some of the common questions. What is prasadam actually? So Prabhupada explains very nicely, very crisply. Prasada literally means prakrishta rupena sidati iti prasadaha. That which completely satisfies the soul or the person is called prasada. Prakrishta rupena sidati. By ordering this prasadam, you become completely satisfied. So that is called prasadam. It is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Prasade sarva dukkhanam bhanir asya pajayate prasanna chetaso kyasho buddhir paryavatishtate. So very one of the important verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani. Simply by accepting the mercy of the Lord. Prasada also means, Prabhupada explained, a special mercy or favor of Krishna upon the living being. So prasada means mercy, special mercy upon the living being. We're all Krishna's own children, part and parcel. Sort of great compassion for us. The Lord is very merciful by offering himself in the form of food to us. That's why sometimes you might have heard this term called Anna Brahman. Brahman means something which is spiritual, not material. Jada means matter, Brahman means spirit. So Anna Brahman we say. That means transcendental divine food. That is actually prasadam. This prasadam is actually spiritualized food, Krishnized food. So by taking that, we become free from all material miseries. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani. Hani means to eliminate, lost, gone. So sarva dukkhanam hani, all miseries are once and for all gone by accepting the prasadam of the Lord. So that is the potency of prasadam. Also, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes the effect of this prasadam. In this verse, in the third chapter, Karma Yoga, text number 9, Krishna says that Yajna Sishta Asina Santa Muchyante Sarva Kilvishan Bhunjate Te Tvagam Papa Ye Pachanti Atma Karanat. It's one of the another important verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says prasada actually means Yajna Sishta. Food that is offered in sacrifice to Lord Vishnu is called prasada. In the just like when yajna or homa, havan happens, you offer some food stuff, some dry fruits, some ghee into the offering, into the you offer it as oblations into the fire while performing the yajna, because it is said that the Lord accepts the offering through the fire. So sometimes we also offer some sweet preparation in the yajna as an offering unto the Lord, seeking His blessings, accompanied by the chanting of Vedic mantras. Then, after the offering, what remains is called yajna sishta. So, what is prepared for the homa is actually called yajna sishta, technically. Food which is offered to the Lord in the sacrifice, and that becomes Mahaprasad. And when you partake that, Krishna is saying, Muchyante sarva kilbishaya. Muchyante means you become free. Sarva kilbishaya means from all kinds of sinful reactions. So this is the effect of prasad. Even one morsel, one grain of prasadam can relieve you from sins of many lifetimes. And if you regularly taste prasadam, you will remain completely purified. You remain in a purified state. That is the effect of prasadam. So that is why it is recommended that we should offer food to God or Vishnu or Krishna, Narayana, Lord Rama, any form of Vishnu, and partake that prasadam, so that we become free from all kinds of wrong deeds, sinful reactions. So that is the effect of prasadam, because if you honor them, you become purified. Now, so the effect of prasadam is that you become purified. What else is the effect of prasadam? How does it act? It acts as an antiseptic or as a vaccine. Today we see, because of the sad scenario in the world today, the COVID situation, coronavirus, people are all in a deep trouble, they're deeply pained. So they have found a vaccine. So if you administer the vaccine, then you are in a much safer position. Therefore, the advocacy of vaccination. So when there is epidemic, if you are vaccinated, then you are safe, isn't it? That's the general understanding, general law, which is a fact. Similarly, prasadam acts as a vaccine to all kinds of karmic reactions. So if you take the vaccine dose of Krishna prasadam, then you remain immune. You remain immune. Just like when you're not keeping well, sometimes they give you glucose, water, isn't it? And then they inject it through your veins so that it goes into the blood and gives you energy. Similarly, when you take Krishna Prasadam, you become spiritually energized. You become immune to all kinds of material reactions, all kinds of material actions and reactions. In other words, you become sinless, a purified soul. So that is the effect of sadhana. So it is an antiseptic. It acts in an antiseptic way. Like when you take the vaccine, the antibodies are produced. Similarly, when you take prasadam, it acts as an antiseptic to you. Prasadam also acts in yet another interesting way. So Prabhupada explains one place. How does this prasadam work in your body? Just like people are eager to know, when you take the medicine, what happens? How will it protect you? When you take the vaccine, what happens to the body? How will it protect us from the coronavirus, etc.? So similarly, when you take prasadam, what happens? How does it protect me from all karmas, all material actions and reactions and sinful activities? I'll give a very nice example. Just like a TB patient, say, take for example a TB patient. When a TB patient eats some food or drinks some liquid, and then you partake that same leftover food or leftover drink, 100% you will get TB. Why? Because it is infectious. So TB is an infectious disease. It spreads. One of the means is through the food of the TB patient. Guarantee you get TB if you partake the leftover food of the TB patient, isn't it? No doubt about it. Exactly like that, prasadam also works, but in a positive way. What is that? Prasadam, as I said, is nothing but food offered to Vishnu or Krishna, and later on, after offering to the Lord, it becomes prasadam. So when you accept it, then you should get infected with what? With Krishna, Krishna's divine qualities. So that means, in other words, Krishna is God. Of course, you will not become God, by the way. You will become godly. Krishna or God is all pure, full of divine qualities. So you will also become a divine person. You will also become godly very soon. That is the effect of prasadam. You will catch, you will imbibe, you will infect Krishna's qualities, which is such a nice thing. Even if you have to go a lot of austerities and rituals, it's not easy to develop godly qualities. It's quite difficult. But just by accepting prasadam, you can acquire godly qualities. So that is the effect of prasadam. Now, prasadam also means karma-free food or sanctified food. This is what we should understand. If you want to explain in modern terms, it is sanctified food or karma-free food. Sometimes we say cholesterol-free food, isn't it? Sometimes we say sugarless diet, isn't it? Each of them have its scientific effect on the body, isn't it? Because what kind of food you eat, it affects the body. So, suppose a patient with diabetes eats sugar, generally it is said it is not recommended. So they go on a sugarless diet, isn't it? So sometimes the doctor suggests your cholesterol is too high, so you should not eat oily foods. So therefore there is something called as oilless food, sugarless diet, etc., etc. starchless diet. Similarly, karma-free diet. This is the scientific understanding in our modern terms, if you want to put it. It's karma-free diet. If you accept Krishna Prasadam, there is no middle reaction. Otherwise, Krishna says every morsel of food you eat, there is a reaction and one has to pay for it. So that is the scientific effect of prasadam. Okay, before I go on to what does the Lord eat and how does the Lord eat, before I go to that, a common sense understanding about the Lord's eating. This very question is this very question that does the Lord eat? Does he really eat? No, most people ask this question. It is actually a very surprising question and very silly also. You know why? There's like, you meet your friend and then you give him some sweets and tell him, no, can we accept? He immediately eats. Now, do I have to prove it in a hard way that he has eaten? Do I have to prove it in a hard way? Do I require to bring about all kinds of proofs and witnesses? Suppose I have given my friend a sweet and then I've gone back home and my mother tells me, did you give the sweet to your friend? I tell you to give you. And we say, yes, ma, I have given that sweet to my friend also. He appreciated it very much. He liked the sweet very much. He said, so please keep bringing, your mother is a very good cook. Will your mother doubt your friend is eating? Will your mother ask for proof? Will your mother say, really? He ate, is it? How could he have eaten? How is it possible? Why, mother? He has got mouth, he has got hands, he is a person, and you offered it, he accepted it. I offered it, he accepted it. What need is there for a big scientific explanation for this? You can explain scientifically, but you require a scientific explanation to convince somebody that your friend has eaten a sweet. Got the point? Hope you get the spirit. Now, come back to this question. Does the Lord really eat? Is it not silly? When your ordinary friend is capable of eating a sweet, and you don't have to really explain it in a scientific way with proof and witness and all these kind of things. So what is the difficulty in accepting that the Lord also eats? Because he is also a person. The only difference is that the Lord is the supreme being and we are tiny beings. He is also a person, we are also a person. The only difference is he is the supreme Lord and we are a tiny living being, created living being. That's all. That's the only difference. If he's a person, then he also eats, he also takes rest. So here we get confused. Oh, that means you mean to say God eats? So why not? So here, two questions cross our mind, which again most people are trapped by. One is anthropomorphism, the one more is zoomorphism. What are these two terms? Anthropomorphism means to attribute human qualities to God, and zoomorphism means to attribute animal qualities to God. Now, the difficulty in people accepting God eating is, they think, is God a human being like us to eat? The answer is yes, he is a human being. In fact, Prabhupada says very nicely, we are human beings because the Lord is a human being, but he is a spiritual human being. He is a spiritual being. Being means person, a conscious living being. But he is the supreme Lord, the supreme controller, the supreme proprietor, the supreme master, the supreme director of everything. And we are his loving children. His loving part and parcel. We are the supreme. That is the only difference. So, naturally, he also has likes and dislikes. So he also eats. He has an appetite for eating. His eating is different. What is that? We will explain that shortly. The fact remains that he eats. Just like we also eat. But his eating is different than our eating. Nonetheless, he eats. When it is offered with devotion by his devotee, he eats. Not otherwise. Not otherwise. So this is a very important point we should make note. In the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, the Lord says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yomi bhaktya prayachati. If one offers me with love and devotion a vegetable, fruit, flower, or water, I accept it. Krishna says, Ashnami prayatatmanaha. Bhaktya prayachati, out of devotion, if one offers me, Krishna is saying, Tat ashnami upahritam. Tat bhakti upahritam. Ashnami bhakti upahritam. So Krishna is saying that if it is offered with love and devotion, I accept it. Ashnami means to accept, to eat. But actually what the Lord is accepting is not exactly the material ingredients in the food. In Vaikuntha, he has enough food stuff, cooked by thousands and thousands of devotees, pure devotees. He is not hankering after our food. But when it is offered with love and devotion, he will certainly accept. Now the important point Prabhupada says here is, when Krishna says I accept, who are we to say he does not accept? Krishna says I accept. That means is God telling lies? Certainly not, isn't it? Why will God tell lies? Just like if your friend, suppose the same, explain the other way around. Suppose you gave the sweet to your friend and then you left. And then night you give a call to him. Suppose morning you met your friend and gave some sweets. And then night you call him up and then you ask him, so my dear friend, did you eat the sweets? How was it? He said, yes, it was very nice. Thank you so much. The friend has said, I have eaten. I have accepted. Now will you say, oh, I don't think you have eaten. How is it that you have eaten? You can't eat, no? Like this, if you speak in the call, imagine how you will be hurt, isn't it? So this is an important point to note. Similarly, if you don't have faith that the Lord is eating, why will the Lord eat? That means you're not a devotee. You're not a devotee. Krishna is saying, I eat, I accept the food offered by my devotee. This is a very important point. Krishna doesn't accept food offered by non-devotees. He accepts food only offered by devotees. Just like anybody on the street offers some sweet or some food, you will accept it? No, isn't it? You know somebody, you are related with somebody, it's an exchange of love. As Rupa Goswami says in Upadeshamrita, there are 6 exchanges of love. In that 2 of them are Bhunte Bhojete Chaiva Shad Vida Priti Rakshanam. The 2 of the aspects of exchange of love are to feed somebody or someone whom you love, and also to accept food in exchange, in reciprocation from your friend. from your relative, from your near and dear ones. It creates a kind of bonding, a bond of love. So your friend accepted the sweet because you are his friend, not because he's hungry, not because he's a poor man, he doesn't have sweets at home. None of these reasons, isn't it? And then we don't doubt his eating. Even in an ordinary relationship, I'm saying. Then imagine the Supreme Lord, the most respectable, the most venerable. When Krishna is saying, you offer food, I accept it. Where's the question of doubting? There's no question of doubting. The Lord has accepted. He is saying openly. The proof is that when you take that food, your consciousness is purified. You slowly turn to become a devotee. You will see that. Your thought process is changing. You are becoming more sober. You are becoming more divine. You are developing some godly nature and qualities without your intention also. Without your intention also. Everyone who has tasted prasadam will go through this experience. You can answer yourself what I explained now. You can think about it for yourself, what I explained now. Who has tasted prasadam? What is the effect of prasadam? You see? So it changes one's personality. One becomes more pure. So this is the effect of prasadam. So the difficulty, as I described earlier, was anthropomorphism and zoomorphism. But okay, that's fine. He's my friend. It's fine. He's my friend. I offered him food. He accepted. I offered him sweets. He accepted. Now you say God. You're bringing down God to a human level? No. We're not bringing down. Rather, as I explained, we are human being. Lord is a human being, but He is the supreme being. He is the leader. We are the followers. Just like Prabhupada said. In the country, suppose take India, there are about 130 plus crore Indians. Among one of them is the Prime Minister of the country, right? So the Prime Minister is also an Indian national, and we are also Indians. But the difference is he is our leader, and we are all his followers, right? So this is a beautiful example by Prabhupada. So although all are Indians, including the Prime Minister of the country, still he is our leader, we are his followers. He is making the policies and we follow those policies. Similarly, the Lord is a human being, we are a human being. The difference is he is the leader and he is transcendental. And we are tiny living being. Even in Bible, it is said, man is made in the image of God. But Bhagavad Gita also Krishna explains, in all scriptures it is there. In the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Mama Imamshu Jiva Loke Jiva Buddha Sanatana. The 15th chapter Krishna says that all the living beings in this world are all my own part and parcel, my own children, Krishna is saying. So the Bhagavad Gita also it is there. Bible it is there, in every religion this is being spoken. So the question is, but how can I attribute human qualities to God? Because we have need to eat, we are hungry, and we eat. And then the food is consumed. But even you say God is also eating like us, looks a little weird. But actually it's nothing weird here, it's very natural. There is eating in the spiritual world also. The Atma also eats. In the spiritual world, there is eating. Actually, it's described all the activities in this material world is a perverted reflection of what's going on in the spiritual world. If there is eating here, there is eating there. If there is sleeping here, there is sleeping there. If there is dance and singing here, there is dance and singing there. If you are working here, you are working there. If there is relationship of friends, relatives, parents, children, society, cities, states, countries. In the Vaikuntha also, spiritual world also, there is eating, there is sleeping, there is dancing, there is singing, there is resting, there is working, there is relationships. Father, mother, children, husband, wife, everything is there in its original identity, original form. Here it's only a reflection, and that also a perverted reflection. That is also described in the 15th chapter of the Gita. But what we see here, observe here, is a perverted reflection. But the original thing is the spiritual world. Okay? So we are thinking because we are eating, Lord should not eat. Because we are sleeping, Lord should not sleep. Because we are working, Lord should not be working. Because we have human emotions, Lord does not have emotions. So like that, this is called anthropomorphism, attributing human qualities to God. It's not like that. Actually, so originally, all these qualities are there in the Lord, in its pure form, spiritual form. It is reflected here in this world in our transactions. It's the other way around. Originally, all these activities are there in the spiritual world, it is reflected here in the material world. So therefore, real eating, real resting, real relationship, joy, real dancing and singing is in the spiritual world. And that's what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced here when he came here. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they introduced chanting and dancing joyfully. As I explained last time, dance your way to God, sing your way to God. So this is the wonderful way Lord Chaitanya introduced. Then attributing animal qualities to God. Sometimes, we think that this Kurma Avatar, Matsya Avatar, these are all looks very funny and very weird. How can God be an animal? God be a reptile? The point is, it's the other way around. Don't attribute the human limitations and the animal limitations on the Lord's body. They're completely divine and spiritual. They're not limited in their functioning. That is the difference. When the Lord comes in his original form is human form, but spiritual human form, divine human form. And the Atma, as we, also have original human form. Originally. Upon that only this body is made, human body is made. When you realize this is called Atma Sakshatkara, Bhagavad Sakshatkara. Because we are not realized, therefore we are not able to appreciate. At least theoretically we understand this. Now, so when the Lord comes in his original form, whether it is a fish form or tortoise form or human form, there is original forms available in the spiritual world, eternally, present in the spiritual world eternally. Lord is not accepting form of this world. Therefore, you don't attribute the limitations of the animal body, reptile body, human body on the Lord. So he is completely spiritual. So that is the major point here. Therefore, anthropomorphism, zoomorphism cannot be applied on the Lord. Now coming to the aspect of how does the Lord eat? And then what does the Lord eat? How does the Lord eat? Here is one small difference. The way we eat is different from the way Lord eats. Now we can do different functions in our life. With every sense, we can do one particular activity. Limited activity. Not even unlimited. The scope is not unlimited. Okay? Be it our seeing, our tasting, our hearing, our smelling, all our faculties are very limited, has got limited scope. So as far as eating is concerned, you can eat with your mouth only. Isn't it? You can eat with mouth only. Only in sick condition you are injected, you are administered food in different forms in the hospital. As I said, sometimes you are given the injection, the saline, through your nerves, through your veins, when you are sick, not keeping well. That's a different thing. Otherwise, we are limited to eating through mouth. No, that is not the case as far as the Lord is concerned. Lord Brahma describes Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti. The Lord's senses are not limited in their functioning. First of all, there are unlimited senses. His power of seeing, power of tasting, power of eating is unlimited. Power of smelling, power of hearing. And he can accept unlimited offerings from unlimited devotees. That is the difference. So you have to eat only with your mouth and chew with your teeth. And then there's a digestive system. In the case of the Lord, none of these things hold good. The Lord's eating is completely different. He can look and glance at the food offered by the bhakta and accept it fully. He can eat through his eyes, which you and I can't do. You and I can't do. A crude example I'm saying. Sometimes we say multi-sensory perception. Sometimes you might have seen a lot of such interesting things even in some blessed people or souls of this world. Sometimes a man is singing like a woman has a male's voice. You might have heard all these things, right? You might have seen some mimicry and all. They can mimic different kinds of voices. Let everybody has some interesting traits with them. Blessed with something interesting, which normally is not true. What about the Lord in that case? But even among human beings, there are things which are beyond their capability we see in them. Whether capacity being invested in them, being manifested by them. And all that source is from the Lord. It's by the Lord's grace. We always say it's by the Lord's grace we're able to perform this. Isn't it? Exactly like that. Not exactly. Rather, if by the Lord's blessings, even human beings can perform wonders, how much must be the Lord Himself capable of? The Almighty. The very word indicates the Almighty. There is nothing which is not possible in the Lord's dictionary. So eating is a very, very simple thing we are talking actually. Simplest of all things. He can eat with his eyes. So that's his potency. He is not limited by his eating, physical eating through his mouth alone. When the devotee offers prayers while offering the food, he can eat through the prayers of the devotee also. So this is how the food plate remains still the same, although it has become purified. And what is the proof, as I said, that it is the Lord has eaten it and it has become sanctified and purified? How do you know? By the effect. You can know by the effect. When you take, you will also become purified. Without your own knowledge, your mind changes, your heart changes, you slowly start becoming devotee. So sometimes people misunderstand, oh, something is mixed in that, some chemical is there, something is mixed in that. Nothing, bhakti is mixed in the prasadam. So this is what you should know essentially. So Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vritti Manti is an important explanation in this regard. The Lord's senses can do multifarious duties. Like I say, multi-sensory perception, even among human beings sometimes. For the Lord, it's not a surprise, it's not a question of fortune. He is endowed. His faculty is unlimited. All senses are interchangeable. They can do functions of other senses. So that's what the Lord is. That's why He is God. We accept Him as God. The only important condition is, if it is offered with love and devotion, He accepts, not otherwise. Now, in that case, you may wonder, then how is it in the first case the Lord actually ate? Yes, because He actually eats also. In some cases, as per our understanding also, material understanding also, the Lord actually empties the plate. But actually, then you may wonder, but when I offer, why does the Lord not eat? Okay, now I accept the Lord is accepting, has accepted by even the devotional mood in the offering than the contents of the offering. I understood. But if I want, will the Lord eat physically, literally also? Yes, the Lord will eat. But actually, sometimes it is said, the Lord is not eating in that sense physically and emptying the plate because tomorrow you will not offer him food again. So we are not so elevated like Raghunandan Thakur. Oh, Lord has accepted? No problem. I am going on fasting. So are we prepared for fasting when the Lord accepts the prasad every time we offer? Lord is also merciful. He knows our present condition. So He accepts and then returns back the entire food. How is it possible? He accepts and returns the entire food. This is called Vaikuntha mathematics. So this brings us to the point of what is called as Vaikuntha mathematics. Now this is the proof of the Lord's eating. So what is this Vaikuntha mathematics doing here? In Vaikuntha mathematics, 1 plus 1 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 1. This is described in Isopanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Suppose there is 1 million. You take away 1 million from 1 million, still 1 million remains. This is Vaikuntha mathematics. Suppose there is one full cake and then you suppose cut it into two parts and then you eat half the cake. In our case, only half the cake remains, isn't it? In the case of the Lord, even if the Lord accepts half the cake or even full cake, the full cake remains. So this is the Isopanishad principle. The Lord is complete. And complete units come from Him. Even if He accepts everything, it remains the complete balance still. So this is the Lord's mystery. The Lord accepts the entire prasadam, leaves back the entire bhoga, leaves back the entire bhoga as prasadam, so that we are blessed by the prasadam. When we take Krishna prasadam, our material body is purified, our mind and intelligence is also purified. So this prasadam becomes food for the body and food for the soul also. So this is the complete explanation given by the acharyas. So that is as far as how the Lord eats. What does the Lord eat? The very interesting explanation Prabhupada is given here. I'll just read out that explanation. This is one disciple of Prabhupada named Kishori Devi Mataji. So one female disciple of Prabhupada, she asked Prabhupada, actually my service is cooking for Krishna. By your grace, I have been given this seva. So what does Krishna eat and what should I offer? So Prabhupada gave an interesting list to this Mataji. He said, cook for Krishna as a young man with big appetite, like the Prabhupada advised her. Krishna should get 10 puris, 4 chapatis, lots of rice, 2 samosas, 2 kachoris, 2 vadas, and 2 of each sweet. This is what you should offer Krishna. So, like that. So, Krishna has a big appetite. God can consume the whole world also, in fact, if you can give. So, in other words, He can accept your offerings unlimitedly. It is your capacity to feed Him. So, God accepts what is offered in love and devotion. Okay. Finally, what does the Lord eat? That is described again in the Bhagavad Gita, verse which I quoted earlier. The Lord eats vegetables, eats foodstuffs in the category of vegetables, fruits, liquids, say some juices, etc. So because the Lord accepts only within this range, therefore we offer the vegetarian food for the Lord. But one important point here is, a very important point which even the vegetarians must note, not only the non-vegetarians. We are not concerned about promoting vegetarianism or non-vegetarianism. We are concerned about promoting the Lord's prasad because it has got a spiritual effect on the soul, on the person. It purifies us. Being vegetarian is okay, but not all the great. It is much better than being a non-vegetarian, but not all the great. Because even eating vegetarian food does not guarantee us immunity from karma or mental reactions. There is karma involved even in accepting vegetarian food. Therefore, Krishna says, even that karma you can be absolved of if you offer the food to me and partake that prasada. So we are concerned with Krishna prasada. So we are, Prabhupada says, Krishnatarians. We are prasadarians, Prabhupada is the word, we are prasadarians. So that is very important. The food becomes spiritualized, Krishnized, like we say, galvanized. There's another scientific explanation of how the food becomes spiritual, not material. It's not ordinary rice and dal. So the foodstuffs are basically in the range of rice, dal, sugar, pulses, vegetables, fruits, like that. And the combination of these things, milk and dairy products. So within this range, you can cook different varieties and offer to the Lord out of love and devotion. And that becomes prasada. So how to offer food? ISKCON, we have released many videos in the YouTube. You can go through that. How to offer prasadam to the Lord. There are some certain mantras and there's a certain simple procedure. You can offer food to the Lord. And then from today onwards, you can offer food to Krishna with love and devotion within this category of vegetarian food, although not exactly vegetarian as I said, then it becomes Krishna Prasada. So we are Prasadarians. So it becomes spiritualized. Then you will be protected. So just like we say galvanized, galvanization process in chemistry, similarly the food becomes converted, becomes spiritual, karma free food. So that is the idea. So I would share more in my next session about the glories of prasadam and the effect of prasadam. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Mahaprasadam ki jai, Krishna Balaram Govitai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. If you have any questions, then I can answer one or two of them. Okay, so thank you.